Good evening, I'm Andrew Chang.
And I'm Adrienne Arsenault. Tonight, a look inside Lytton.
What shocked me the most is the fact that it's so fast and so complete.
What's left and the search for answers about how it started.
Also tonight,
It's the energy line for John Cooper.
do or die. We are in Montreal as the Habs fight to keep the Stanley Cup dream alive, and Montreal police prepare to maintain calm in the streets.
Plus, coming home just got a little easier for some. Why some Canadians say they are being punished for doing the right thing.
It almost feels as though that we're paying for that decision in order to come home, because we still have to go through that entire quarantine.
And the wisdom of a boy on a walk.
I'm not the type of person that wants to just let my anger go. I wanted to show my anger by doing something good with it.
Walking to remember those forced into residential schools. This is The National. In BC tonight, there is a growing sense of urgency as new wildfires continue to spark and race through areas left tinder dry by the recent heat wave.
Today, fire crews began arriving from other provinces to help. So there are about 200 wildfires burning in BC right now, but the devastation from one in particular is feeding everyone's fears. Much of Lytton burned to the ground last week. So we know that fire moved in fast, and now officials say they suspect humans caused it. Katie Nicholson is near Lytton tonight. So Katie, this must just add an enormous amount of stress, the idea of not entirely knowing what happened.
Yeah, so many people here are just sitting with this loss and this uncertainty. And really, they want to get behind this barrier behind me where the RCMP are into the town itself and see what, if anything, they have left. They can't do it right now. It's not safe. But we did get a glimpse from some of the crews who were going in there first to try and fix some of the infrastructure. Here is a little of what they saw. Cars like charred husks. Lampposts downed in the ash of what used to be a street. The Lytton fire burned so hot, it liquefied parts of these parked vehicles. These apocalyptic images captured by one of the first crews to witness the aftermath.
It's pretty sad. It's pretty leveled. Like it's unbelievable that the level of destruction. Like there are brick buildings that we thought would be, still a brick building, but they're just completely leveled.
All this destruction and still no answers about what sparked this fire, although the province's wildfire service said this last night.
So the specific cause of the Lytton Creek wildfire remains under investigation by both the RCMP as well as our fire origin and cause investigators. It is suspected to be human caused, but that specific cause remains to be determined.
Human cause could be anything from a campfire to a dropped cigarette butt. There has been widespread speculation. Some witnesses say they saw a burning train further down the line earlier that day.
Big plume of smoke. I mean, it was pretty intense right away, right? And it was just hot and fast. And, I'm like, oh boy, this is going to be crazy. And it was quite windy too, right? Everything was blowing. So, and what was it? That was the hottest day recorded in Lytton.
Jade Baxter has lived here for 25 years. She strongly suspects a train ignited the fire.
The way I've seen fires start by the rail as someone who's lived here for 25 years.
Others believe there are too many variables to say for sure, but it's plausible.
Some people saying maybe they shouldn't run trains during extremely dry times, but extremely dry times like now is 3 months. So you can't stop commerce for 3 months.
CN says it's cooperating fully with the investigation and wants to offer support to the people of Lytton. The Transportation Safety Board isn't involved, but if a rail company files an occurrence report, that could change. Regardless of what happened, people want answers.
I know that the truth is going to come out.
For now, that job falls to the province and the RCMP.
So Katie, it does look like residents will be able to at least see the damage soon. What are the details you have on that?
So what's happening here is the district is trying to get a bus together as soon as it's safe to do so, just so people can drive through and get close to the village and really take in the loss, take in their own personal losses. Of course, you know, it does have to be safe. You saw through our pictures that, you know, power lines are down, that light standards are down, that, you know, there's so much uncertainty still about whether it's safe to be there. And, you know, there's also smoke and toxicity issues. So all of this has to be cleared first, but it is hoped very soon that the people of Lytton can at least view some of the damage from the safety of a bus.
What a terrible mess. Katie Nicholson near Lytton tonight. Thank you, Katie.
You're welcome.
Now, as we mentioned, that Lytton fire is just one of about 200 burning in BC right now. And today, some relief arrived for the exhausted fire crews trying to battle those fires. Susanna De Silva has her eye on the province-wide situation tonight. So, Susie, what details do we have on that help?
Well, about 80 firefighters have arrived from the rest of the country, along with several support staff to try to support those firefighters here already battling in BC. About 300 military personnel are also being assembled to try and support them. The situation here right now being described as precariously stable, but difficult and challenging, and could get very worse very quickly. All many can do is nervously wait and watch. These pictures show smoke from the Deca Lake fire, where crews had been waiting for the right conditions to deliberately burn some of the forest fuel.
Yesterday, we were about to start the plant ignition, but due to winds, made the decision to hold off. And so today we had an opportunity.
Conditions continue to be hot and dry. About a dozen of the fires burning now are considered especially threatening.
New starts we've seen, especially a surge in the past few days, continue to challenge our initial attack success due to their ease of spread.
North of Lillooet, the McKay fire is still burning out of control. Evacuation orders and alerts have been issued for some nearby communities. So far, Lillooet is safe, but Lytton was a warning.
When we saw what happened to our fellow community, the amount of angst, the amount of shock, and the amount of disbelief, and it still remains partly today, and we have to overcome that and begin to look after ourselves.
Meanwhile, other small communities like Spence's Bridge are offering support however they can. Here, it's with food for firefighters.
These ladies have come together. There's a band of about 8 of them, and they were on a no moment's notice. We gathered, had a small meeting with BC Wildfire and the powers that be, and they asked if we could put a team together to serve them breakfast, lunch, and dinner for 80 people.
This year's fire season is especially bad already. On average, less than 27,000 hectares of land is burnt by July. This year, it's already triple that. And that number keeps growing. This afternoon, a fire sparked 8 kilometers away from Osoyoos.
Okay, so Susie, one more question for you. I mean, we've heard about the investigation into the cause of the Lytton fire. What about the rest of the fires?
Well, officials say about half of the fires that have happened so far in this province have in fact been human caused. Now, there is concern, though, about lightning strikes and the potential for more fires, as there are severe thunderstorms in the forecast for the Kootenays tonight. And as far as that fire in Osoyoos, right now crews are working from the air and the ground to battle it. Andrew?
Okay, Susanna De Silva, thank you.
All right, let's change the tempo a bit and head to Montreal now, where the Habs need a win tonight if they want to see their Stanley Cup dreams live on for another day.
And different lines for the Canadians tonight, looking for a different result.
Well, Game 4 is underway in Montreal, with fans holding their breath inside and outside the Bell Centre. The Habs trail the Tampa Bay Lightning 3-0 in the best-of-7 series. Montreal is currently leading 1-0 at the end of the first period. So Allison Northcott is outside that Bell Centre in Montreal. So this game, Allison, already off to a pretty good start for the Habs. Sense of the mood there?
Yeah, I'm outside the Bell Centre now, and the fans here are really excited. They're really hopeful. That first goal that we saw by the Habs really provoked a huge cheer, even some fireworks in the crowd. The Habs are down 3-0 in this series so far. So if they lose tonight, it's all over for them. So fans here are really hoping for a big turnaround tonight.
Everything is riding on this game for the Habs, and their fans showed up with optimism.
Look at all these passionate fans. We deserve this.
They're gonna win.
Yeah, we're just excited to be here. Yeah, so
biggest comeback incoming.
We're the Montreal Canadiens. We can come out of anything.
We got a good game ahead of us. You know,
I mean, at this point, we just got to take it one game at a time.
But after 3 losses in a row, the pressure is on like never before.
We just want to come and, show how we can play. I don't think we've really shown the way we can play very often in this series so far.
Police are preparing for big crowds downtown. After the semifinal series when the Habs beat Vegas, there were some acts of vandalism and violence. Police used tear gas to disperse the crowd.
We need all supporters to cheer the Montreal Canadiens, but it has to be done in a respectful way. We don't want to break windows. Our businesses or our restaurants have suffered enough.
Tonight, Montreal police have asked for extra help from provincial police too. And downtown businesses are preparing for the kind of post-game chaos this city has seen before.
It's removing valuable items from the windows, keeping the businesses lit up, light, and making sure that the entrances are well protected. It is really an infamous minority that we are worried about.
And hey, Allison, I can hear the cheers back there. And look, I don't want to be the skunk at the party, but 3 games down. Walk us through the odds here.
Well, Adrian, just to give you a sense, it hasn't been done in a Stanley Cup final since 1942. It was the Toronto Maple Leafs. So the Stanley Cup is inside the Bell Centre tonight, because if the Lightning win, it's theirs to take home. And that is something fans out here do not want to see happen.
Yeah, no kidding. All right, Allison Northcott in Montreal, thank you. Enjoy yourself.
You're welcome. Thanks.
So win or lose, people in Montreal are feeling a lot of hope these days.
We see the light at the end of the tunnel, really.
Coming up, after a very tough year, David Common looks at a city balancing a big reopening party with some very real and lingering pain. Now, a doctor accused of killing an elderly patient at an Eastern Ontario hospital has been granted bail. Dr. Brian Nadler is facing a first-degree murder charge in connection with the death of an 89-year-old patient last March. Nadler will need to live at an approved address and will not be allowed to practice medicine. Police are also investigating the deaths of other patients at that hospital.
A Quebec woman's family is devastated over how she suffered in hospital before dying, and they want to make sure it doesn't happen to others. Nicole Williams takes us through what happened.
This is how 58-year-old Anne Pominville's family wants to remember her. But this is how she spent some of her last hours alive. In agony on the emergency room floor at Hull Hospital in Gatineau, Quebec. She came in because of stomach pains so severe she wasn't able to sit in a chair. But with no stretchers available, staff provided her blankets and she made a bed on the floor. Pominville waited for hours. Eventually, she saw a doctor and was transferred to another hospital. She made it through the operation. Doctors discovered cancer in her stomach, but she took a turn and passed away. Veronique Richard is horrified about what her aunt went through.
I'm sad about the whole situation.
The regional health unit says it's concerned about her treatment in the ER and is investigating. We are doing everything we can to understand what happened and to prevent this kind of situation from happening again. Today, Quebec's health minister also told reporters he wants answers. The family says they don't blame hospital staff for what happened to Pominville, but rather ongoing staffing shortages, which just last month forced an emergency room in the region to close for a weekend.
In almost 25 years as a spokesperson, I've never seen a patient being told to lie on the floor. We cannot find a single damn bed for this lady.
The family doesn't think anything could have prevented Pominville's death, but feel at the very least she should have been treated better.
I know she was very sick, I think she's better now than she was on the floor,
The family now is calling for change to make sure there are enough resources to take care of patients so that no one else has to suffer like Pominville did. Nicole Williams, CBC News, Gatineau.
A fire at a church in southeast Calgary is being investigated as arson by police.
The church fire from last night wasn't accidental, it was intentionally set.
Plumes of smoke could be seen billowing from the House of Prayer Alliance Church last night. Now, crews were able to put out the fire and no injuries have been reported. This comes as an Indigenous group calls for an end to a recent spike of churches being vandalized across the country.
Violence begets violence. So we're asking people who are lighting churches on fires to stop. If you want to support us, you can stand with us and you can mourn in our grief and support us as we discover more graves across this country.
The attacks on churches began after the discovery of unmarked graves at the sites of former residential schools. In the past few weeks, about a dozen churches across the country have been burned. Others have been vandalized.
Now, one way for Indigenous people to avoid forced attendance at residential schools was to get Canadian citizenship and give up their Indian status, forfeiting aspects of their culture and much more that went along with it. But now, generations later, as Olivia Stefanovic shows us, some families have filed a constitutional challenge to reclaim their pasts.
Even though Nadia Salmoniu is a citizen of the Haida Nation, she doesn't qualify for Indian status.
To receive a rejection letter saying that you're not Indigenous when you know that's part of who you are is deeply, deeply impactful.
Status comes with potential benefits that can include hunting and fishing rights, some tax exemptions, and health coverage. But Salmoniu's great-grandfather, Wilfred Laurier Bennett, gave that up in 1944 under a process known as enfranchisement, a difficult choice to renounce his Indigenous heritage, gaining Canadian citizenship in order to spare his descendants from residential school.
He made I believe, a forced decision to protect his children.
Salmoniu is now trying to reclaim her Indian status through a constitutional challenge.
My Haida name, San Nanguas, means the girl who sings or singing girl. You know, I know who I am.
We are going back to becoming what the government tried to make us not be anymore.
Catherine Fournier's grandfather also went to residential school. He gave up his status so he could own property. Fournier was able to regain status under a previous change to the law, but she can't pass it on to her children.
And being able to say officially and formally and quite openly, this is who I am.
Their lawyer says the Indian Act continues to discriminate against the descendants of women.
It's hard to understand why Canada has not yet decided to address this issue.
Ottawa has yet to file a legal defense, but in a statement, Indigenous Services Minister Mark Miller's office acknowledges sex-based inequities continue to be felt in Indian status registration and is working on further legislative changes. Olivia Stefanovic, CBC News, Ottawa.
A tropical storm is hampering rescue efforts tonight at that collapsed condo building in Surfside, Florida. 4 more people have been confirmed dead, so that leaves 117 people unaccounted for, including 4 Canadians. Farah Morali has more on the challenges facing the search teams.
The sound of explosives ripped through the night as what was left of the Champlain Towers tumbled into a cloud of smoke.
Bringing the building down in a controlled manner was critical to expanding our scope of search. Truly, we could not continue without bringing this building down.
Today, crews were able to access a side of the building they couldn't get to before because of how unstable the structure was, a side that included bedrooms.
We are prepared for anything that we come across. We're obviously hopeful that there are some void spaces in there that may have been a refuge area.
For those who got out before the collapse, it's been an emotional time, watching what was left of their homes reduced to rubble and reliving the frantic moments of that night.
He just picked me up. He just picked me up.
How are you? ¿Cómo estás?
88-year-old Esther Gorfinkel recently reunited with the neighbor that carried her down the stairs before the collapse. The grandmother was in bed on the 5th floor.
I'm so happy.
I'm so happy too. I'm so happy to see you. And, you know, we made it out, you know, so that's what's important, right?
All eyes tonight are on Tropical Storm Elsa, which made landfall in Cuba today, battering the coast. It's hitting the west coast of Florida tonight, but on the east and Surfside today, crews were already contending with heavy rain and wind.
We will see these showers and thunderstorms move rapidly across the area as we go through the nighttime hours.
Crews have now removed 4.8 million pounds of concrete from the pile, but no one has been pulled out alive since the first few hours after the collapse.
I said to the families 2 days ago that the chances to find somebody alive is close to zero. I'm realistic, but we are still full of hope.
Hope that is fading 12 days into the search. Farah Morali, CBC News, Washington.
Well, an NHL goalie has died in a tragic accident after being hit by fireworks. Matis Kivlenieks goaltended for the Columbus Blue Jackets. Police in Michigan say he was hit in the chest by a firework that went off course this weekend. He and some others were in a hot tub when the firework flew towards them and they attempted to scramble out of the way. He was just 24 years old.
What we're trying to do is move from a government, universal government diktat to relying on people's personal responsibility.
British Prime Minister Boris Johnson says his government plans to lift most COVID-19 restrictions on July 19th, saying the vaccine rollout has weakened the link between cases and deaths, allowing his government to move forward with the reopening. Johnson did warn, though, that cases were predicted to rise. Kate Middleton is self-isolating after she came into contact with someone who tested positive for COVID-19. Kensington Palace says the Duchess of Cambridge is not experiencing any symptoms, but is following government guidelines and will self-isolate at home. Both she and Prince William received their first doses of the vaccine in May.
A boy in Nova Scotia has taken on a big goal in hopes more people will learn about residential schools.
I think about all the kids that didn't make it.
Ahead tonight, we catch up with the 12-year-old as he walks across the province.
And quarantine rules ease for Canadians trying to come home, at least some Canadians.
It was crazily confusing.
And later, a mother's search for the kind stranger who left a gift for her son.
My son jumped on the bike right away.
She has a hunch she knows who was behind it. We're back in 2.
Eligible travelers include Canadians, permanent residents, and international students who are fully vaccinated. They have to upload proof to the updated ArriveCan app, specifically version 2.19.9. unvaccinated kids don't get a free pass.
It was crazily confusing, but we understand.
Katarina Cole is fully vaccinated, but her Canadian children aren't. So they've rented a house with a backyard to wait out the 14 days. She can come and go, but the kids can't.
We're lucky enough to be able to do that, so we don't have to crowd with anybody.
Travelers also have to have received a vaccine approved in Canada. Chandan Dash got 2 doses of Covaxin in India while they're on a family emergency.
If Canada would have recognized our vaccination status, yeah, it would be like a good thing for us.
Canadian Alex Su Chung works in Trinidad and Tobago, where the first vaccine available to him and his wife was Sinopharm.
It almost feels as though that we're paying for that decision in order to come home, because we still have to go through that entire quarantine.
The government says the list of accepted vaccines may expand in the future as evidence becomes available. Who is allowed into Canada may also expand soon. At this point, tourists still aren't welcome.
We will proceed in a responsible, step-by-step fashion at reopening and allowing larger numbers of people to come to Canada.
But Canadians are eager to leave. Demand for international flights this fall and winter is taking off.
Just make sure that you know what your cancellation and change options are, because you don't want to be caught out.
In case any new rules come with a catch and a cost that travelers still have to bear. Jacqueline Hansen, CBC News, Toronto.
Well, with travel beginning to pick up again, Canada's Porter Airlines had hoped to restart flights later this month, but that has been pushed back. Porter says it's now aiming to take off once again on September 8th, starting with Canadian destinations only, then to a few of the most popular U.S. destinations in the following weeks. That means about 500 staff will be recalled.
When we come back, we will return to Montreal on a big night in that city.
I honestly felt like it was going to be 5 years until I was going to be able to do this again. It means that we see the light at the end of the tunnel, really.
Why, it's about so much more than hockey. But first.
Hi! How are you? It's so good to have you here.
As restrictions loosen up, there are moments like these happening everywhere, and we want to hear about yours. Has the pandemic kept you separated from someone special, or maybe there's a group of people you can't wait to see? If you have an upcoming reunion that you are excited about and you want to share your story, send us a message on Instagram, or you can email us at covid@cbc.ca.
Works it deep in front, scores! Josh Anderson! And it's the first lead of the series for Montreal.
Whew, it is do or die in Montreal. The Canadiens have to win to stay alive in the Stanley Cup Finals as they trail the Tampa Bay Lightning 3-0 in the series. But the Habs are leading Game 4 right now. So Montreal is a city springing back to life. It's not all about the Stanley Cup run. David Common joins us now from Montreal. So David, you are a man of many excellent words. How would you describe what's happening in the city these days?
Well, Adrian, I mean, I am here with the diehard of diehard fans outside the Bell Centre. And from places like this, you know, up to the bars, just up the road, up the plateau, all over the place, you're seeing large numbers of people showing up, really hoping this is the big game. This is the one where it all happens. But you know what? In many ways, this is a reawakening of sorts, the moment so many, Adrian, had been waiting for.
Like popping a bottle of champagne, Montreal's opening has come with a bang. The pressure of the pandemic bubbling away with music, culture, and just being able to do this.
I honestly felt like it was going to be 5 years until I was going to be able to do this again. So it means that we see the light at the end of the tunnel, really. And we're finally able to bring back the cultural scene that is so like incremental to Montreal.
It's not all back, mind you. The party has boundaries, an assigned carpet in this case to keep the ecstatic somewhat apart. Still,
That's going to bring the life back to the city.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Feels great to be back in front of a natural crowd.
Human crowd.
Yeah.
and then, well, there's hockey. The Habs never expected to get this far this season, but they've come farther than at any point in 3 decades. Scores!
Plain bagel, coffee, and original sesame.
At the city's famed Saint-Viateur bagel, the doughy goodness looked a bit different lately. Yum.
We're crazy for the Habs here. Like all the guys, like go Habs go. So we go. Let's make some Canadian logo, and we just made a few just for us here inside, and they posted the picture, and it made a buzz.
So no, it's going to be interesting because
Steve Bonspiel and Onawa Jacobs share that Habs fever. Tonight, they're watching their second game of the playoffs inside the arena. But also tonight, when the anthem plays, they will take a stand, as they have once before, by sitting.
because I want people to know that like things aren't all right in Canada. You know, we're not being treated equally in our own country, in our own homeland. So how's that going to change? You're going to have that kind of conversation.
Which is good.
Steve and Onawa are members of the Kahnawake community. 3 of her 4 grandparents were forced to attend residential school. That experience, but at the great cost of separation from family, community, and culture.
They don't really talk about what's happened there. You know, we honor them, and it's just too hard for them to talk about what they went through. Yeah.
I think they'll be silent.
People are complex, and celebration for hockey can coexist with generational pain.
Yeah, I think that whole black and white thing where it's like, oh, you know, it's either this or or that. Nobody's life is like that. So of course ours isn't, you know. So we're able to express and say, yes, we love this is awesome, but this is not great.
At this outdoor festival, some of the performances began with a reflection on the impacts of residential schools. Montreal in Canada may be emerging to happier days, but the legacy of the last year, pandemic and other pains, is not washed away.
So David, let's talk turnout. How does tonight's crowd sort of compare to past games?
Yeah, it's a good question. I mean, where I'm standing, it certainly looks like there's an awful lot of people. And yeah, they're really jammed in here, pretty concentrated just outside the Bell Centre, 3,500 inside, a few more thousand out here. But frankly, it looks like slightly smaller crowds than we have seen before. Certainly same level of enthusiasm though, Adrienne. All right, back to you.
Okay. You have fun and be careful. Thanks, David.
Don't want to lose David in the crowd.
No,
over
no.
there. Okay. Well, history was made at Wimbledon today after 2 Canadian men moved on to the quarterfinals at the All England Club.
Now he has it. Now he can celebrate.
Montreal's Felix Auger-Aliassime clinched his spot after a pretty thrilling upset over the tournament's 4th seed today. Earlier, Denis Shapovalov advanced following his own impressive victory. This marks the first time 2 Canadian men have ever advanced to the quarterfinals of a Grand Slam tournament. The Blue Jays have applied for government permission to return to Toronto as early as July 30th in hopes of playing out the rest of their season from their hometown. They've been playing out of fields in Florida and Buffalo since the pandemic began. In the soccer world, Toronto FC is coming back home to train later this week, also with hopes of returning to play in July. Well, next, the 12-year-old on a mission to honor those who were forced into residential schools.
I'm not the type of person that wants to just let my anger go. I wanted to show my anger by doing something good with it.
We'll join him as he walks across the province, raising awareness and inspiring others along the way. Welcome back. The discoveries of hundreds of unmarked graves at residential school sites across the country have sparked anger and sorrow. But for one 12-year-old boy, it was a call to action. Landon Toney is walking 200 kilometers to raise awareness, and Kayla Hounsell met him on his journey.
They call this Landon's Journey of Awareness, and it's a long one for a little guy with a big message.
I think about all the kids that didn't make it and how they couldn't stop.
We caught up to 12-year-old Landon Toney along a Nova Scotia highway. He's walking 200 kilometers over 6 days toward his First Nation community to raise awareness of the children who were taken from theirs.
My kids came home from school frustrated that there wasn't a lot going on after the first 215 children were found.
It was frustrating and it was sad at the same time, emotional for a lot of people because the survivors, they had to go through all of that and they had to see their brothers and sisters die in front of them.
Landon wanted to do more.
I'm not the type of person that wants to just let my anger go. I wanted to show my anger by doing something good with it.
He's been walking for 5 days now. He began near the former site of the Shubenacadie Residential School. His great-grandmother was a survivor. Today, her children met him along the way.
She would have really loved that.
She would have been here with him.
Yeah, she probably would have. Even in her wheelchair, she would have came.
It means a lot to me. It just sends a chill through my bones.
He hopes to complete his walk tomorrow, but his journey of awareness won't end there. He's raised more than $15,000.
We're gonna try to donate the money to different schools to make Mi'kmaq classes and stuff so they can teach more about the residential schools.
His mission rooted in the belief that Canadians still don't know enough about residential schools, something he's determined to help change. Kayla Hounsell, CBC News, near Windsor, Nova Scotia.
Good for him. Next, have you noticed a change in your dreams this year? You are not alone.
People dreamed about swarms of bees and hornets flying at them, armies of cockroaches.
How the pandemic is playing with our subconscious. But first,
Wendy Mesley has retired, a broadcast news trailblazer.
Wendy Mesley, CBC News. Wendy Mesley, CBC News. Wendy Mesley, CBC News, Montreal.
When she started out in Quebec in the 70s and early 80s, women covering politics on camera were rare.
The reason that it's a big deal now is that the scenario has changed completely.
In Ottawa, she became CBC's first female correspondent to cover the Prime Minister.
The Prime Minister is said to be somewhat uncomfortable with the plan.
And she helped create the award-winning Undercurrents.
Good evening, I'm Wendy Mesley, and this is The National.
Before becoming a regular host of this program.
The Weekly starts now.
Her most recent show, The Weekly, ended after controversy. Last year, she was disciplined for saying the N-word during 2 editorial meetings, for which she apologized. Over her career, she was honored with multiple awards, including for the groundbreaking Chasing the Cancer Answer, in which Mesley investigated rising cancer rates and revealed her own personal battle. Wendy Mesley leaves the CBC after 38 years.
I'm Jamie Poisson, and tomorrow on CBC's Daily News podcast Front Burner, as nearly 200 fires continue to burn in British Columbia, we hear stories of their human toll. Subscribe wherever you get your podcasts.
Welcome back. As we start to make our way out of the pandemic, many of us are looking back at the ways COVID-19 affected our lives and changed how we see the world. Well, tonight, we want to revisit a story we worked on about the impact it's had on our sleep and our dreams. It turns out that subject has been a source of great intrigue for psychologists and sleep scientists. For all the talking we've done about the absurdity of our pandemic days, maybe it's the nights that have been the strangest. The anxiety keeping us staring at the ceiling, tossing and turning deep into the night, and drifting into the weirdest of dream worlds.
I dreamt that I was watching a movie and turned around to see my girlfriend had duct taped herself to my bedroom window.
Canadian filmmakers have been illustrating the COVID dreams people submit. Academics chronicling them in global studies over the last year. Some of you sending us your bizarre tales.
In my dream, I was like, oh my God, what?
It's always me being in an overcrowded area with people that are neither practicing social distancing or wearing a mask. I do not like COVID in my dreams. If I could sanitize my mind.
Filthy. The doors are hanging off the hinges.
And this waitress leans into me and says, I'm sorry, I have to do this. And then at the moment when she plunged, I screamed and woke up.
Clearly, pandemic dreaming is by now a global phenomenon. And among the explanations for it is a pretty simple one. With so many no longer commuting, something happens around the time we used to get up for work. Many just don't. People around the world staying in bed almost an hour longer in the mornings, according to a Brown University survey. And for sleep scientists, there is meaning there. Is that a thing, Elizabetta, that there's a connection between the types and vividness of the dreams we're having and what time we're staying in bed until?
Yes, definitely. So most vivid, immersive, kind of spatiotemporal, emotional dreams happen in the morning.
And because morning dreams are more easily remembered, we're all talking about them. In a year that Elizaveta Solomonova of McGill has been collecting the stories of pandemic dreams, she's seen a shift. In those first days of lockdown, when no one was going anywhere and we felt stuck, we worked through that in our sleep.
So the most prevalent dream theme during the first lockdown was trying over and over to do something and not succeeding. What they dreamt about being unable to do stuff they wanted to do.
Those feelings of trying to catch a flight and missing it, making a run for the border but not getting there, those dreams happened a lot. Harvard Medical School's professor Deirdre Barrett has been studying dream life her entire career. She says this era is a standout.
Dream recall was just way up this time in a way that was not as true of any other crisis.
Imagery in dreams is sometimes really obvious. Consider what she found after 9/11. After looking at all that in real life, of course there were dream submissions of plane crashes or fires. But in the early days of the pandemic, COVID and the fear of it didn't necessarily look like anything, so our brains figured it out. Plenty of dreams of natural disasters, especially tsunamis, and oddly, bugs.
And it could be any kind of insect. People dreamed about swarms of bees and hornets flying at them, armies of cockroaches running at the dreamer.
Think about it, she says. Bugs are a pretty logical metaphor for viruses, and early pandemic dreams were infested with them. They certainly were for Mary Boutillier of Toronto, who sent us a deeply creepy COVID dream.
I came in the house, took off my mask, and the inside of my mouth was coated with sticky, dead houseflies.
Her mouth is full of like houseflies, and she's trying to get them out, and there's like one or two still left.
Yeah, that would be in there. There anything from the bugs are going to kill you to just the bugs are dirty and disgusting, and it's more like this is going to make you sick.
Once masks became the ubiquitous image of the pandemic, they took over in dream imagery.
So have you been having any COVID dreams?
Yes. Are you? Trust Margaret Atwood to be ahead of the curve on that one.
I was at this big party, which I in fact had thrown. And in the middle of it, I realized
It's a big party, and none of us have got any masks on.
Canadians who sent us their dream stories, like Rosie Grant of Edmonton, can apparently relate.
You know those dreams where you show up somewhere like work or school and you're not wearing any clothes and it's rather embarrassing? Well, now the embarrassment comes from showing up somewhere without a mask.
To be anxious in our sleep about a room full of unmasked people probably says a lot about how embedded the public health messages have become. And dreams of feeling trapped or locked away, which so many describe, are potentially important.
And so what do you think people should do with this information?
If you pay attention to some of the nuances of exactly what you're dreaming about and what it might be a metaphor for, some people aren't as conscious that the loneliness is even worse than the fear of getting the virus until they have this dream of being in solitary confinement.
Having bad dreams doesn't mean it's bad for us. So very often our dreams are kind of revealing to us our own existential concerns, our own fears, our own anxieties.
More than a parlor game, then, to talk about the weirdness of our pandemic nights, all the drama in our brains that ramps up when the sun goes down.
Good times. Okay, next, an anonymous gift on the doorstep, leaving one family overjoyed.
It's so amazing. I couldn't believe it.
The surprise, the mystery, and their excitement is our moment. Next.
Okay, let's get started.
I love you.
We are the change.
This movement may have gotten it right.
We got in! We got in! We got in!
When did you last see your father?
You're him, aren't you?
Well, Ming Sun from the Northwest Territories was surprised one day to see a bike on her driveway. She didn't know who it was from, but it was addressed to her 8-year-old son, Oliver. And while Oliver was, of course, blown away by the surprise, it meant the world to his mom, too. Why it was so meaningful is our moment.
I was cooking duck soup. I came out. I saw one new bike. There had a paper sticker in front. Somebody write on for Oliver. Then I called to Oliver. Oliver, come out. This new bike is for you. Then my son jumped on the bike right away. He was so excited. I couldn't find anybody, no name. I thought about maybe some kids got the bike and they decided to donate it. Oliver lost his dad 5 years ago. I have been living here for over 11 years. It's really, as a Chinese, I'm the only Chinese living in this town. In some ways, we are lonely. But on the other side, I have so amazing neighbors. All the neighbors, they always look after us. I'm so joyful, so surprised, and that is so amazing.
Okay, that's a great story. It's a story that has everything. And on the mystery side of it, she has apparently really tried to figure out who it was, posting on a local Facebook group, just hasn't been able to find the person. She suspects it was one of her neighbors.
Nice. And you know, Oliver's mom tells us that they've been talking a lot about kindness recently, and she found in Oliver's homework an assignment he wrote on Dene law, where he wrote, by sharing, you're being kind. You can make people happy by sharing. Sharing fills people's buckets. That
Indeed.
it does. That is a national for July the 5th. Good night.
Good night.